Raising my dog Bruno was quite a challenge. Now, Bruno is an amazing and loving dog, but when he first came home, I quickly realized this little puppy wasn't going to make things easy. I've always lived with dogs, but Bruno was the first one that I took full responsibility for raising. Looking back at those first few months, I can definitely say I made a ton of mistakes that, luckily, we've managed to correct over time. But I want to share those mistakes with you so you can avoid them and start working on these issues early with your own pup. Plus, after talking to other dog owners, I realized that these are pretty common mistakes. So, it's likely you might make one or two of them as well. 1. Waiting too long to start training my dog. My first mistake? Waiting. I thought I should give my puppy some time to explore freely before getting into training, thinking he needed time to just be a puppy. I even heard some advice that said to wait until 6 months to start training. But honestly, that's bad advice. Dogs start learning the moment they arrive in your home. Commands like come, stay, or drop it are super useful, even in the first few months of life. Dogs are quick learners and can start mastering these commands early on. It's best to start training as soon as they come home. Keep training sessions short and fun, using lots of positive reinforcement like treats and praise. That way, your dog not only learns faster, but also stays mentally stimulated, preventing boredom. 2. Not socializing my puppy enough. You probably already plan on introducing your puppy to new people and dogs, but the mistake is not doing it enough or in the right way. Socialization is key for a confident and well-adjusted dog. It means exposing your puppy to different environments, people, animals, and sounds in a positive way. In my case, I didn't do enough of it, and as a result, Bruno became afraid of certain things, like cats and loud noises, especially horns. To properly socialize your dog, take them to various places, like parks and busy streets, and let them meet different animals and hear new sounds. But be cautious. Make sure they're not interacting with aggressive dogs or placed in stressful environments like crowded dog parks. Socialization should be done in a controlled way to avoid negative experiences. 3. Not researching enough about the breed. This was probably one of the biggest mistakes I made. Each breed has its quirks and specific needs, and you really need to understand them to take proper care of your dog. In my case, Bruno is a golden retriever. I had always seen videos of Goldens being super affectionate and calm, but the reality is they're also incredibly energetic and a bit stubborn. And it's not just about temperament. Different breeds also have different health concerns. Understanding your dog's breed will help you anticipate potential issues and provide the right care. For example, I was totally unprepared for Bruno's high energy levels, and it took some time to adjust. So don't just go by what you see on social media. Make sure you research your breed thoroughly. This will help you cater to their specific needs and avoid surprises. 4. Overfeeding with treats. It's so easy to fall for those puppy dog eyes, right? But trust me, giving your dog too many treats can lead to problems down the line, like obesity, which in turn causes joint issues, heart problems, and even diabetes. There are 3 things to keep in mind when it comes to treats. Make sure you're giving healthy treats. Skip those highly processed snacks from the store and go for natural options like turkey, carrots, or apples. Keep track of how many treats you're giving. If you're training your dog, you'll be giving them more food than usual. Calculate in weight how many treats you've given, and subtract that amount from their daily food ration. This way, they won't ingest more food than necessary. Don't overdo it. The treat should be a reward for a behavior or response from your dog. If you keep giving treats nonstop, they'll lose their effectiveness. In my case, I overdid it with Bruno, and he packed on a few extra pounds. Now, I calculate his treats to keep him at a healthy weight, which is super important for breeds like golden retrievers, who are prone to joint issues like hip dysplasia. 5. Not exercising enough. Dogs, especially high-energy breeds, need a lot of exercise to stay balanced and happy. I used to think that a quick trip to the dog park would be enough, but boy, was I wrong. When Bruno didn't get enough exercise, he started acting out, jumping on the furniture, barking nonstop, and just being generally chaotic. Exercise is crucial to burn off that excess energy and keep them from getting bored. Daily walks of at least 30 minutes are a must, but if possible, mix in some running or swimming. It's fantastic for their health. But here's something I didn't realize at first. Dogs also need mental exercise. I started incorporating interactive games into Bruno's routine, which helped a lot. But what really surprised me was how much he loved using his sense of smell. Here are 3 activities I used to keep him mentally engaged. Snuffle mat. This is a mat where you hide small treats, and your dog has to sniff them out. It's great for keeping them occupied. Treasure hunt. I would hide treats around a dark room and let Bruno find them using just his nose. Let them sniff during walks. Letting your dog sniff everything during walks makes them incredibly happy. I even recommend getting a 10-foot leash so they can explore more while you walk comfortably. 6. Thinking their behavior would improve as they grew. I'll admit it, when I was overwhelmed by Bruno's behavior, I thought I just had to wait it out and he'd magically become more obedient as he got older. But spoiler alert, it doesn't work that way. Hoping that a dog will grow out of bad behaviors is a common but risky mistake. If you don't correct these behaviors early on, they'll only get worse as your dog grows. For instance, if a puppy learns that barking gets them what they want, they'll just bark louder and more often as they get bigger. It's super important to start addressing any unwanted behaviors from the get-go. Teach them what's acceptable and what isn't, no matter how cute they look when they misbehave. Trust me, you don't want to deal with these issues when they're adults. Gaining new insights? Make it official. Subscribe and like. It really helps us out, and you'll always be the first to catch our next videos. 7. Not adapting the house. Here's something a lot of us forget in the beginning. Your dog won't adapt to your house right away. You have to adapt the house to them first. One thing to always remember is that dogs will chew. Maybe not as intensely as others, but they'll definitely chew on something. So, it's best to remove anything you really care about from their reach, especially when they're young. I know there are anti-chew sprays out there, but if you have something really valuable, it's better to move it out of the way until your dog outgrows their chewing phase. Once they've settled down, you can start bringing those items back into their environment. Take it from me. I learned this lesson the hard way and lost more than one piece of furniture. 8. Repeating commands over and over. If you find yourself saying sit over and over again until your dog finally listens, this is a mistake many of us make. Repeating commands too much teaches your dog that they don't have to listen the first time. Instead, if they don't obey, try moving to a quieter area with fewer distractions and try again. The goal is for your dog to respond to commands the first time, not after you've said it 5 times. Give the command clearly, then reward them as soon as they respond correctly. And remember, consistency is key. When your dog learns a new command, don't go months without practicing it. Occasionally have a short training session to reinforce the command. This will keep it effective. 9. Feeding them leftovers. I always promised myself I wouldn't feed Bruno scraps from the table, but I still made the mistake of giving him food while cooking. I'd accidentally drop pieces of food, and of course, Bruno learned that the kitchen was the place to be for surprise treats. The result? He was always underfoot whenever I was in the kitchen, making it hard to move around. Aside from creating a little kitchen shadow, giving your dog human food can be harmful. Many of the foods we eat are too high in salt or fat for dogs, and some can even be toxic. So, as tempting as it may be, try to avoid giving them those accidental treats. Well, those were the 9 biggest mistakes I made with Bruno, but before you go, let me tell you about 3 things I don't regret doing. And I have to say, the third one is something I'm especially proud of. I'm sure these will be super helpful for you and your furry friend. 1. Attending dog training courses. Signing up for dog training courses in my area was one of the best decisions I made. Not only did Bruno's behavior improve, but I also learned so much about how dogs think and what they need from us as their humans. These courses gave me a better understanding of Bruno's mind and how to interact with him in a way that made sense to both of us. Plus, training sessions are a great way for your dog to socialize in a controlled environment. The trainers make sure everything is safe and that no conflicts arise between the dogs. If you get the chance to attend one of these, I highly recommend it. 2. Reading books about dog training. Now, I've read quite a few books on dog training, but you don't have to go overboard like I did. If you're only going to read one, let me recommend a short but fantastic book, The Language of Dogs by Turid Rugas. It's amazing how much our dogs communicate with us without us even noticing. The book is packed with eye-opening insights into how dogs use body language to express themselves. You'll be surprised by what you learn, and if you enjoy reading, there are plenty more great resources out there. 3. Giving them all the love in the world. This is the big one. Giving Bruno as much love and affection as possible has been one of the best things I've done. A balanced, happy dog is one that feels loved every day. Over time, I've come to realize that positive reinforcement works so much better than negative punishment. It's all about rewarding good behavior, not punishing bad behavior. And it's not just about treats. Kind words, pats, and affection go a long way. When Bruno had an accident in the house, the last thing I do was scold him. If your dog is sick or had a rough time, they need your support, not your frustration. But it's not just about giving kisses and hugs. What you need to do is treat them with care, be careful with them, and respect their needs. You'll see how you build a beautiful relationship with your furry friend. So, if you found these tips helpful, I've got another great video lined up for you. In it, I'll explain the secret meanings behind your dog's sleeping positions. Just tap on the image on the screen and get ready to discover some fun and surprising facts. You'll surely be surprised.